Hey guys. So, before we begin, I want to take a moment to explain the intention behind this video because this is a two-part tag for the tarot community and it's called #TarotTube 2026. So, in the first video, and let me just say that I am sitting here with a pairing, one of my favorite, most beautiful pairings, and it is the Oracle of the Rose with the Natasha Fromm's Tarot of Aphrodite. Okay, this is the second edition. So I figured while I do this, I will go through this pairing. Okay, so in the first video, we took a conscious pause to reflect on where we've been and where we are as a tarot community. And this video wasn't meant to pull us backwards or keep us stuck in analysis. It was meant to honor the journey and create awareness before moving forward. So many of us have talked about our tarot practices, decks, spreads, and collections, and I love all of that. But in part one, I felt called to step back and reflect on something deeper. The undercurrent of TarotTube itself, the community energy, the shared experiences, and the lessons that we've learned just by being here. If you can hear any background noise, I apologize. My whole house is home today, and it is what it is, right? Seems like I have to wait in order to be able to even do a video, and then it's just difficult. So anyways, the second video is about what we want to do, what kind of tarot community that we want to consciously move into in 2026, and what values that we want to carry forward with us. I love these together. Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. So now that we've reflected on where we've been and where we are, the second part of the TarotTube 2026 conversation is about where we're going. This isn't about predictions. It's about intention. So tarot has always taught us that the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something that we participate in creating, right? It's about choices, the choices that we make. One of my favorite sayings, the choices we make, not the chances we take, determines our destiny, right? So, as we move into 2026, I feel a strong collective shift that is happening in the tarot community. I feel like many of us are tired, not of tarot, but of the noise that's around it, the pressure, the constant output, the competition for attention, right? I mean, you know, YouTube, I believe that this platform, like, puts out, like, what was it? 6 million, 7 million videos a day, something like that. I mean, it's just like feeding a machine, right? And TarotTube is just a small portion of that. But still, that's a lot, right? So, I don't believe that the future of, or let me back up a second. I'm looking at my notes here. What I do see emerging instead of the competition for attention, or what I want to see emerging, I should say, is a desire to slow down and reconnect, you know, and to remember why tarot mattered to us in the first place. Let me just say, I really loved, well, you know, I'll talk about that in the questions. Let me get into it. So I don't believe that the future of TarotTube is about bigger, louder, or even more shocking content. I believe it's about presence over performance, right? About people sharing because they love tarot, not because they feel pressured to prove something, teach something, or outpace someone else. So in 2026, The tarot community doesn't need more division disguised as truth-telling, right? It needs discernment without superiority, differences without gatekeeping, and conversations that leave people feeling expanded and not diminished. The kind of content that feels aligned for me and what the future looks like for me is more creativity, more storytelling, more play. Sorry if you can hear Sully's tummy. His tummy's upset this morning. More spreads, more experimentation, more tarot used as a tool for reflection, imagination, and joy. It looks like people sharing what actually works for them. Not in instruction, but as experience, right? Because tarot isn't mastered, it's lived. So, on that note, I just want to say something here. And I've seen other people, and other people have their, what they feel review is. But for me, there are two different types of reviews. For me, as a consumer who's possibly purchasing a deck, a review that is important to me is knowing the card stock, it's knowing the size of the deck, because, let's face it, hand size matters. Size matters, okay? And I'm just throwing this out here, with my little tiny hands. No, I'm not even going to try doing this with my tiny hands, but size does matter. Because there are many of us that have bigger hands and many that have smaller hands. And the shuffling is a huge part of the process. But anyways, I digress. I love doing the little things like that bring joy into it. Just fun. Tongue-in-cheek fun. It's not about spewing hate. It's just about seeing where we can just make fun of ourselves and not be so damn serious, right? But back to the review bit. So when I say here that it looks like people sharing actually what works for them, not as instruction, but as experience. If you are doing a review and you've worked with that deck for, let's say, 2 months or a year, that is valuable input. It is. And what you bring to the table is valuable. I do not want to diminish that. Not one single bit. But how you work with your deck is 100% subjective, okay? That doesn't mean that's how I'm going to work with the deck. It can be inspiring, but it might not be anything that I'm looking for. The things that are important to me in a review is looking at the artwork, knowing whether or not it's going to jive for me, whether or not it's going to work, knowing if there is a good guidebook or no guidebook, because that makes a difference on whether or not I purchase that item. What the card stock is like, the size, and the overall packaging, everything. All those things are important to me. And when I'm watching a review, I don't need to know how you work with a deck. That's not important to me because I work with my decks in my way. That is more subjective. Objective would be showing the details, right? What it looks like, because you are a discerning customer. And I do find, even though I say slowing down, I do find walkthroughs and reviews highly, highly valuable. And I'm never going to change that viewpoint. Because as somebody that loves and values tarot, I also value how much money I have in a budget. So stocking a deck is very important to me. Anyways, I've really gotten off of topic. But I want to reclaim joy and appreciation, right? So I also feel deeply that 2026 is about appreciation. Appreciating the decks that we already own, the books that we already have, the wisdom that we've already gained. In a world that constantly tells us that we need more, tarot can be a practice that reminds us of what we already have, what we already hold. That's why in the first video, I really did take you through, well, not the first video, in my, my channel being changing, why I took you through my room, because I'm not somebody that is just like hurting for anything. I have a plethora. I'm sitting on so many treasures here that I deeply value. I'm not a collector just in the sense that I want to have a deck on my shelves to say that I have it. I'm not somebody that has to collect an entire set of something unless I think I'm going to use it. I want to be able to use my collection, and there is no shame in the word collection or practice or any of those things. Not to me. You're not going to get that kind of judgment from me. To each their own. You do what you feel is right for you in your life. So, moving forward also means honoring boundaries. So, curating our feeds, right? Choosing what energy we engage with, supporting creators who support others, and stepping away from content that thrives on division or judgment, right? Boundaries are not rejection, they're alignment. So if you want to, feel spicy and you want to go to those channels that get you riled up and divide you from other people in the community, or help you feel like you're being seen because you feel the same way, you go for it. It's you do what you want on your tarot, right? That's just not what I want. No hate there either. No triggering words, no nothing. I encourage everyone to have their own opinions and to share those opinions. That doesn't mean that I have to agree with your opinions, though. Nor do you have to agree with mine. So, also, as we move into 2026, I really wanted to ask myself and invite you to ask yourself some deeper questions about how we want to participate in the community going forward. So, this is not just about what you want to watch, not just what you want to create, but what kind of energy that we want tarot to hold in our lives. So here are the questions at the heart of the second part of the tag, and I will be putting them in the description. And I encourage you to either pause or journal or pull cards for them in your own time. Or not pull cards. If you want to express how you feel like I'm going to, then please do. But no, however you choose to do it is perfect for you, okay? So, the first question, what kind of tarot content do you want to create in 2026? For me, as I said, this is about appreciation. It's about creativity and joy. It's about creating from a place of love rather than pressure. So for me, I don't want to do tarot reviews for the most part. Like I've said, unless it's something special, if somebody reaches out to me, like an independent creator or anybody, and says, can you review this deck? If it's something that I really strongly want to have, and that's just me being honest right there. If it's something that I really want to have, or I'm really curious about it, then the answer would probably be yes. Because I don't have lots of money to spend. But it's got to be something very special. There's no harm in asking, okay? But it's got to be something special, something that I really want in order for me to put it on as a review. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be showing decks anymore, because everything that you do, that you show on your channels, is consumerism. I can't tell you how many times I'm just setting my scene, and this is not, I don't even want to say setting my scene. This is my aesthetic, okay? These are things I don't set up for videos. These are my room. These stay 100% like this. So even when I'm doing tarot, this is how it is, okay? And again, that's no shame in somebody setting up a scene for a video because they don't have the space to have, you know, a room like I have. I'm extremely fortunate, and I know I am fortunate. So I utilize what I have, right? But like I said, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be showing decks. I am absolutely going to be showing decks because this is the tarot community. I'm going to be showing books that I love. I'm going to be sharing spreads that either somebody else has created in one of the books, because although I have a couple spreads decks that I have created, and I have like books, you know, like the decks that I've created that also have spreads in them. I love those. Don't get me wrong. I do. But I love getting spreads books to begin with, right? And books, guidebooks that have really good spreads that are themed towards that deck. I love all that stuff so much because I love tarot and I love oracle and I love the whole process of getting creative. And yes, aesthetics matter to me. They don't have to matter to you, and your aesthetic can be completely different than mine, and that's beautiful too. If we were all the same, that'd be friggin' boring, right? So, all that stuff, it's all what I want to create in 2026. So, what kind of tarot, question number 2, what kind of tarot content do you want to watch more of? You know what? I want to watch people that really, even the content when they get new decks reviews, there are some really good reviewers out there. And I'm not talking about the ones that are sharing their experiences with the decks. I'm talking about the ones that are showing the actual how the cards read, any kind of spreads that are in the decks, what the decks are like, actually shuffling and showing it and fanning and letting me know whether or not that's something that I would be interested in. Because 9 times out of 10, because I do have a large collection, when I see somebody joked about this, I can't remember who it was, but when I see a walkthrough of a deck that I really know that I don't want, it's like, oh, hell yes, it makes me so happy. You know, I know that sounds funny, but I'm like, oh yeah, I don't need that. I'm so happy with what I have already that kind of fills that, right? I haven't always been there, but I am there now, right? And no shame to anybody else where they are in their tarot journeys. So, yes, I want to see more new people that are coming to tarot that are excited about it, that they're feeling all this, you know, they're learning all of it, and then they're sharing. They're not teaching, they're sharing their experiences, right? Their excitement, their joy. They're partaking in community things. I love watching people getting together and talking about how they feel about things without fighting over it, right? I love the light seers. I love it. I've never, you know, I've never been shy about that. I am my most authentic self. I'm going to tell you how I feel. But does that mean that I think that you're an enemy if you don't? No. That's the beautiful thing about it. You are entitled to feel the way everybody. I've heard so many people go back and forth about the light seers. And that's valid. That is most definitely valid. There's lots of decks that I see other people that like that I'm just like, why? I don't get it. Why? You know? Even ones that I've gotten and then I've gotten rid of them because I did not like them. That's a beautiful thing. We are all different. So, you know, that's what I want to see more of. Question 3. What kind of tarot content are you ready to disengage from? The divisive stuff. To each their own. If you're having a bad day and you want to go see a creator that wants to just have fun with, you know, making broad statements about whether you're right or wrong, if you do this as a tarot reader, if you do that as a tarot reader, or this is more advanced than that is, or whatever. You do you. That to me is just icky behavior. Okay, to me, that is somebody that is feeling, this is just my own perception. Is it projecting? Absolutely, it's projecting, because I don't know, right? But it feels like it's somebody that is wavering in their own beliefs, so they need to stress it even more so by over explaining it, rather than actually being confident in what they're doing. And they need to feel validated in what they're doing. Whatever, I do see it, I understand it. But also, people that want to come over and leave crappy comments, like on the first video that I did of this, somebody came in and made a really projective and hateful statement about how they're just so tired of YouTube being, that everybody is not really tarot readers, they're just all collectors. Well, that is highly projective. How the hell would you know? You know what? You can actually be both. But unless somebody's telling you that I'm purely collecting and I'm not reading my tarot decks, then what you say is pure projection, and it's coming from a place of hate or envy or jealousy or whatever. Check yourself. But I'm not going to engage in that kind of stuff anymore, and you're just going to get hidden from my channel. Period. Look at your behaviors, look at your own patterns, and see whether or not you started that conversation off in a very hateful light to begin with. And why I just muted you from my channel, right? So, question 4. What values matter most to you in a tarot community? Is it integrity? Is it creativity? Is it mutual support? Is it slowing down? What actually feels aligned to your spirit? So for me, right now, I do love the creative stuff. I love seeing how people mod their decks. I don't think that's a bad thing. To each their own. I can understand why somebody would feel that way, because it can be a direct communication. It can be. Not everybody uses their tarot in the same way, but it can be a direct communication with your spirituality. For me, it always is. But sorry, Sully just kept on growling. I had to stop. I don't know what he's growling at. But if you connect better by trimming off the edges because you have small hands, tiny hands, whatever, or because it blocks the way that you see the art, which flows better, then who am I to say how you connect with your deck better? Only you do. It's a tool. It is a tool, okay? The true spiritual part comes from you. That's my opinion, okay? So, I do want to see the creativity. I want to see the storytelling without having this need to prove anything. You don't have to prove what a awesome reader you are. You don't have to prove that your predictions are always correct, because that's not even how I see tarot. I see tarot as a possibility of a road that's opening up. But I feel like as soon as you see these cards laid out and you grasp and understand them, that it already just changed the future that they spoke of, because you are making conscious choices. It's a living thing. It's a living language. It's not stagnant, right? So, yes, you can do predictions. I do believe that that works, but I believe that it changes. If you just have regular foresight about what could be coming, regardless of whether you're using tarot or not as your vehicle, it changes it already because it became in your awareness, right? Once something comes into your awareness, you have the conscious choice to change it. So, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and slowing down. People just really enjoying, and I love the book reviews, especially the tarot book reviews, and seeing what kind of stuff is really in the books. Not necessarily how the book made you feel. That doesn't matter to me because that's subjective to you. What matters to me is when I see a book review, seeing what's in it and whether or not those topics are what I would like to see. Now, like I said, I don't want to devalue how you felt about something that is highly important, and for other people that might be highly important. It's just not for me because I'm not the kind of person that usually does magic the way that other people do magic. I don't like to follow anyone else's spells. I don't like to base my practice on what somebody else's practice is. I want my practice to be organic to me. You know, that's authenticity and that's personal gnosis. So, anywho, enough with that. So, what boundaries? Question 5. What boundaries feel important to you as a creator or a viewer? Okay, yeah. If you come over and you have a difference of opinion and you are doing that in a respectful manner, I will most definitely respond and leave your comment up because I want to broaden my own perception. But if you come in and you're just being nasty or projecting a whole lot of shoulds, and I don't have time for that. Sorry. So your voice is going to get squished on my channel, and I make no apologies about it. This is my space. If it's something that I don't want to see that a person is doing, like for instance, let me just say, if I see that somebody is giving their opinion, I encourage that. I love that. Even if I don't agree with it, I love that because it challenges mine and I am confident in my own. And if I'm not and it challenges me, hey, I love that too. I love that. I like seeing how something affects another person because I have this kink around psychology. I like knowing what makes people tick. But if I see that your channel is set up that way, that it's always going to be like that, then I don't have time for that because I see an agenda in that. Regardless of whether it is or not, that's what it feels like to me. It feels like the wrong kind of energy for what I want to curate in my own experience. So then I just simply don't watch your channel anymore. And I make it so YouTube does not suggest your channel anymore. So, but to each their own. I do think that there's a place for it. It's just not for me and mine. So those are the practices. And I don't have to agree with your beliefs, and you don't have to agree with mine. Not at all. That's not a prerequisite for being friends for me or being somebody that can respect one another. But I think that kind of gets confused sometimes too, what respect is. Anywho, so how do you want, the 6th question, how do you want tarot to feel in your life moving forward? Is it playful? Is it grounding? Is it supportive? Is it expansive? And this question alone, regardless of whether or not you share it, is going to be extremely revealing to you, right? So for me, I want all of the above. Tarot is all of the above for me. It's a friend when I need a friend. It's a teacher. It is a playmate. It is somebody that takes me out on adventures. It's somebody that helps me get in touch with my higher self. It's highly spiritual, and it's also highly playful. That can be seen sometimes in different decks, right? But it's all of the above. Tarot is all of the above for me, and that's why I love it so much. So, question 6. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Question 7. What kind of energy do you want to bring into the tarot community in 2026? Because whether we realize it or not, we're always contributing something to the spaces that we're a part of. So even if that's just you watching and liking or not liking and watching or whatever, or commenting and what you watch, you know, those are the things that you are saying that you want a part of in your community. Because whatever you put your attention, that's where the algorithm leads you. So although it's like super aggressive, it's like manifestation on on I probably can't even say it, on some kind of pharmaceutical, okay? It's increased. I want the energy of the tarot community to come together. And let me just say this. There is like different tarot communities also, okay? There is readings, people that do live readings all the time, or energy of the day. There are people that are showing their tarot decks or doing reviews. There are people that do the pick-a-cards. There are people that do a little bit of some of all of it and doing lives and live discussions. There are different communities within the broader community of TarotTube. And I am looking for the close-knit people that are like-minded, because I like sharing my love of tarot with the other people that really love and share their tarot also. It's really a beautiful way to bond. Oh, these beautiful fur babies. Oh, there they go again. Okay, so those were the 7 questions. I did also do a tarot spread. I'm not going to do the tarot spread for you. I'm going to do the tarot spread myself. I am going to talk about the tarot spread really quick, the questions, but that is for you to do if you would like to do it. You can do it on your video if you want, or do it in private, or not do it at all. It's your choice, you know. I'm definitely not trying to force anybody to participate. So, the first card is guiding value. So what value should guide my participation in the tarot community going forward? This can be a conversation with your analytical side, with your higher self, whatever, right? The second card, my contribution. What energy or perspective do I bring into this space? Question 3, card 3, release point. What kind of content, dynamic, or energy am I ready to disengage from? 4, mutual engagement. How can I engage with community in a way that feels reciprocal and supportive? If that's what you're seeking, because not everybody on here is seeking community. They just want a place to, well, I can't even, that's projection, okay? I don't know why. Only you know your true why of why you're here, right? But my projection would be, if you're only doing videos and you're not participating and supporting others, that you just want to make videos and express yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that either. That's just about understanding, right? Understanding your why of being here. And the path forward. What kind of tarot community am I helping to create in 2026? So the second part of the TarotTube, or this second part of the TarotTube 2026, is really about conscious participation. We don't just belong to a community, we shape it by what we support, what we share, and what we choose to step away from. If you feel called to join the tag, you're welcome to share your reflections using the TarotTube 2026. And if this is something that you want to explore quietly in your own practice, that is just as valid, right? I just want to thank you for taking this moment to reflect with me and for being part of this community as we move forward in 2026. So thank you for spending this time with me today. If you are here, please don't forget to give me a like and share if you feel so inclined. And I'm sending you my love. Thank you. I have to keep pausing. Oh my gosh. So, anyways, this has been the 7 questions. It's going to be down below in the description as well. Sorry, there's just some things I cannot stop. The noise, oh my. Sorry, it just seems increasingly more difficult to be able to do a video, which is another reason I'm trying to slow down on my YouTube. My house is Grand Central Station sometimes, and I've got loudmouth dogs. But anyways, that's authentic for you. Yep, see, there it is again. Oh, after another bitching out. Sorry.